Today, I'm going to take a look at the Wars of Marcus Aurelius. This is a solitaire game by Robert Dulesky, published by Hollandspiele Games, and sourced or produced by Blue Panther Games, who does all the sourcing for Hollandspiele and several other smaller game publishers. This is, again, as I said, a solitaire system. It is dealing with Marcus Aurelius and his campaigns before, he left this world. Talks about here 170 CE. Plague ravages the empire, with the legions depleted by disease and spread thin across the endless frontier. Opportunistic German tribes and fierce Sarmatian raiders strike across the Danube deep into the imperial territory. With Rome facing its most serious barbarian invasion in 300 years, the Emperor Marcus Aurelius, an untested commander-in-chief who has never set foot outside Italy, must transform himself from an introspective philosopher into a cunning warrior and fearless leader. This debut game from filmmaker and designer Robert Dulesky was created for Board Game Geek's annual Wargame print and play contest, where it was crowned the overall winner. Additionally, it won all but one of the categories in which it competed, including Best Rules, Most Original Concept, Best Solitaire Game, Best Strategic Scale Game, and Best Short, Quick, Small Game. Hollandspiele is proud to present this award-winning game in a new edition with the art by Aya Kuderos and Gonzalo Santa Cruz. Man, they got to give me some names. Working with Hollandspiele's development team and playtesters, Mr. Dulesky has expanded upon his original design, resulting in a richer and more varied decision space that rewards repeated plays and multiple strategies. Yes, this was the debut design. He went on to add to his collection with Stilicho, Last of the Romans. This one uses the same system. I haven't, as you can see, unboxed this one yet. So, spoiler alert, that shall be coming. In fact, this week is turning into Rome week, where I started off with Caesar, Rome versus the Gauls, and now Marcus Aurelius, and we might just get to Stilicho later this week as well. But we are now on this one. Let's get inside the box and see what we have here. Let's see if I started this anywhere. Sometimes these things are a little bit harder to get open than they look. So, again, this is a card game, or card-driven game, in that you'll be playing cards either for their events, or I think you just discard cards. I don't think there's like action points or command points or anything like that. I think you discard cards to like move forces or build forts or the like. Typical Blue Panther type box, sturdy. They all come in about the same size. You've got 2 dice here. We have cards. We'll get to those. We have a loose counter. Actually, it looks like we have several loose counters in here. Let's uncover that right now. See what we got going on. Here's the rules. Here's the map. And there is the counters. So I assume that I have all of them there. They are loose and roaming about the box. So might as well start with that. In that, you can take a look at these counters. These are typical Blue Panther counters, very, very thick, as you can see there. I would never clip these. I think they're too thick to clip. Plus, I'm not a big clipper, and these are clean enough for my purposes. There's usually a little bit of a, I don't know if these are laser cut or what the process is, but there's usually a little bit of a kind of a, not necessarily like a burnt smell, but a different kind of smell on Blue Panther counters. As you can see here, they're really nice and dual-sided there. Those are some of the legions that you'll be moving around on the board. We have some, here's a mutiny. So that's kind of an interesting looking counter there. So we'll see how this I'll have to get into the rules to see how this plays out. But there is your counter set there. And it looks like you might have some of the different tribes that you're going up against shown there, and maybe they're tracked on the map as well. Let's get to the rules. You know, I always start at the back. Looks like we have 11 pages, but this is basically some sources and chronology, so some history and context. And then we have basically, these are the card notes for a couple pages. So it looks like maybe only barely 9 pages. It goes right on to page 9. Oh, this is supplemental. So 7 pages. So we've got 7 pages of rules. That does not sound too daunting, does it? You've got, there's color throughout, or at least in some parts of it. You got your introduction components. There are the components, your cards, your setup, tracking time and Imperium, sequence of play, which are always very important, well, in any war game, but also very important in solo games, because that usually drives the action. Deployment step, barbarian phase, Roman phase. So it looks like the barbarians go first, possibly. Then this is adding forts, victory or defeat, and then attrition and housekeeping and other rules clarification. So there's your 7 pages there. Yeah, I might actually try to get into this today if I've got time. Let's look at the cards here. And the Blue Panther cards are usually typically the same too. They come in these little slips, plastic slips. And they're good quality. I mean, they're a little thinner than maybe your average GMT game, but not that bad, you know. And you know, in a card game like this, that you're going to be using the cards a lot, you might want to sleeve them. Anyway, I don't do a lot of sleeving, but sometimes I do. So you've got. And I don't know what the difference is between, I mean, I don't know if this is the Barbarian deck, because it's green. I would assume the red is Rome. I've watched this game, or some playthroughs, but it's been quite some time. I've had this on my list for a long time, and Scandal, Faustina, Plague. I've had this on my list for a long time, but and actually picked this game up last year, before the end of the year, as part of the Hollandspiele Holiday Sale. But I just have not had a chance to do a proper unboxing and have the time to get it to the table. So I'm starting that process now. So these are the red cards. So I gotta believe these are the Roman, and that the green are the AI that you're going up against. So you got these cards here, and I think that you're going to, my understanding is, you can play them for what the event is, or you have to discard it to do, you know, certain actions in the game, you know, moving troops or fighting or building forts or what have you. So so that adds to the rich decisions that you might have to, or the tense decisions you might have to, that present themselves, and you have to make a decision on how you want to play the game. You know, which cards do you want to use for their events, which cards you want to use for just regular actions, and what you need to get done that turn. Let's take a look here. Let's go up a little bit. Let's get a little bit better view of the board. Blue Panther comes with paper boards. Most of Hollandspiele games come with paper boards, although they do sometimes have. There's a few games that came with canvas, but there's usually for some of their games there's a canvas upgrade. I don't know if there's one for this. The got a lot of tracks here. Here's the Imperium. Here's the year. You've got some holding boxes here throughout the sides here. These look like they're for cards. You have off-map conflicts. Your meditation. I think this might be like a holding box to kind of keep your cards over from turn to turn, I think. You've got barbarian cards 1, 2, and 3, and then surge 1, 2, and 3. So I imagine that's going to be possibly some of these cards, possibly. And then you've got, I think that I think there's a little bit of a states of siege element to this, because if the barbarians get to Rome, it says here game over, so you don't want that to happen. So I think there's kind of these tribes coming down. You've got the 3 tribes here, which were represented by those 3 counters, I believe, as well, that we saw earlier. And so they're kind of coming down this way, and then you're pushing them back. So anyway, there you have it. This is what you get in a box of the Wars of Marcus Aurelius. Very interesting. There is a Hollandspiele has several, solitaire war games. In fact, there's a whole series that I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of a cup series. You're moving units from one cup to another, and the interaction between those cups, kind of determines the severity of what you're going to be facing over time. So this one is card based, and I think this one and Silico are probably pronouncing that wrong. Are card based, and it's more of a card driven game in that there's multiple use of the cards, and they really drive the action of what you can do on a turn. So anyway, that is what I have for you today. As I'm continuing on with Rome week, this is number 2. I've got at least 1, possibly 2 more with this Rome theme, and I might actually create a playlist with Rome just to have it separated. I don't know if that's needed, because I have all these kind of fall into the Ancients playlist. If you all look at my playlist, love to know your thoughts on that, on how I have things organized, or what you think about this game or anything else. It's all fair game. Just be civil. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Greatly appreciate it. The best way I know that you stop by is drop a comment. Love reading it. Love hearing from you. Love to know you're out there. And I'm not talking to thin air, but I'll do that anyway. Anyway, take care. Hello all, it's me again. Yeah, I decided to go ahead and bust this out and start playing. But as I started going through the setup, pulling out the late war cards from the Roman cards. Yes, and I did confirm that, yes, these are the barbarian cards. But as I was going through the counters, I realized that I did not have, they were double-sided. I mean, they were double printed, and there wasn't a image of the units, the Roman units on the back. And there was like repeats of, like I had like 2 Italica ones, and I was so I realized they were double printed, because I was looking for the Marcus Aurelius counter that had his bold side, and all I could find was this one, and it's and there's print, and it has a similar one printed on the back here. So I got a counter sheet. If you recall, when I opened up, it was kind of loose in there, but it was double printed. So I can't play this game the way it is, because it's double printed, so I don't have all the counters that I need. Like, for example, I think this leader has another side, but yet he doesn't there. And so, I guess it's a easy mistake there, but yeah, kind of disappointing, because I wanted to kind of get this to the table and played, but I don't really know all that I'm missing here. counter-wise. And it's kind of a key part of the game. You know, you gotta get your counters right. And I know that a lot of I know this is a small game company, and I know that it sources its games through a third party. But that third party, Blue Panther, I usually get relatively good stuff. From them. I don't have errors like this. So this must have just been a simple error, but disappointing nonetheless. Especially when you pay decent money for these games. Hollandspiele's games are not cheap, given what you get, and yeah, this is kind of unplayable because I have no idea what I'm missing. I mean, I guess I could kind of figure it out and see if I have all the right stuff there, but I can make up my own counters. But if you're making up your own counters, then why did you buy the game? I could just do the print and play. Anyway, frustrating. First time I've ran into this where I was totally missing counters like this, or having a reprint like that. But I have had other Hollandspiele games. I've got their Westward Rails game was missing some wooden bits. I didn't even contact Hollandspiele on that, but it was missing some of the disc, the action disc, or the large round disc from it. So it's not, and that's a wooden bit, right? So yeah, not my first time, but the first time I've had it be so kind of pronounced in its play. So you might want to check that out. I don't think that reflects on the game itself or on the gameplay. However, I haven't got to the gameplay on it because it's kind of hard to do with having an incomplete counter set. So anyway, I hope that doesn't put too much of a damper on my Rome week. I still have Selecto coming up. Hopefully its counters are set and not double-sided or double printed wrong. So yeah, I'll have to look for that when I open that one up, which I plan to do soon here. So because I was going to spend some time playing on this, but I can't quite get to that right now. Anyway, love to know your guys' thoughts on that as well, on your experiences when you get a game and it has something that really makes it almost not impossible, but pretty doggone close to being impossible to play. I mean, every game has a little bit of errata, has errors from time to time. This isn't one that was. This is just, I think, part of the sourcing of it. It was not something that the game. I doubt all their games came out this way, or all the versions of this came out that way. I think this is just a one-off. But this isn't quite errata, as it's just a production issue. But yeah, there you have it. I'll catch up with you all later. Bye. Thanks for watching.